Hey everybody, Jim Malone here, coming to you live on everybody, Jim Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. Well, I was a little bit late today in starting the program. We was talking on the phone, and I with an old friend of mine. Anyways, just wanted to get into it for everybody here. By the way, for if you're watching on TikTok, we're simulcasting on YouTube at youtube.com/Dallas Trading Floor. So if you want to kind of see some of what we're talking about here. So without further ado, let's get into the slides. Basically, in this market, the strength in this market is in the oil and gas area. And I think that, it's tough to but that's kind of where the market is right now. It's the strength is in the oil and gas, and so that's if you want to be exposed to the market, that's kind of where you got to look. You got to look in the oil and gas area, and we definitely have done that today. I have a stock that you might be interested in. It's called Murphy Oil. I have a position in it, and basically it's risen above the 43.30 buy point. And it's in a pattern called an ascending base, and hopefully, oh, there we go. It's in a oh, come on, I have a issue with my. There we go. All right, so there. Okay, I had it on a stand, and the stand kicked the bucket. So there. So hopefully that'll work now. There we go. Okay, so basically, this company Murphy Oil is doing quite well. Now I did buy my third position this morning. Just kind of wanted to show you this. This was breaking out. This is in the number. This is right now in one of the top areas in the market. And so Murphy Oil. So what I'm going to do here, real quick, is I'm going to go over here and take a look at the live chart, which I'm going to take a look at in just a second here. And this is one I made a third buy on. And let's see, let's pull up the charts here. Going to look at Murphy. Uh-oh, people are going crazy. MUR is the symbol. Okay, so kind of see how Murphy Oil closed today. I'm having a little bit of issues with. There we go. Now we're up. Now we're up and running. Okay, so let me share the screen on the live chart for Murphy Oil, and kind of take a look at this this chart here a little bit. We closed up. We're up after hours. It's at 44, and this is if you want if you're interested in possibly moving a little bit of capital in here. We do have a very nice. What's happened is, it came out of this this 43.20 base, and it's moved up It's moved up from there. So this is definitely some. I don't know what's going on here. I have a situation. Okay. Oh goodness. All right. So it's showing a lot of strength, and again, you can see I bought 3 times here. Once on the 12th at 42.30, then at 42.77, and then today I bought it 43.77. Now currently it's 44, and I do expect you're going to see it probably move above this area a little bit here. Hopefully we'll see it move with a little bit more strength than it's been. And well, there we go. Getting my TikTok feed here. I had a little bit of. I changed cameras, and so hopefully that'll work. Anyways, so let's get on with it. Let's see if I could give you some more kind of information before we get to the slides. Here's how the market closed today. We're down basically on the Dow Jones, the S&P, and the Nasdaq. So 3 for 3 we're down. So this is the kind of thing. The Nasdaq is where the techs are, and that has been very, very weak as of late. Now, for some reason, I'm getting multiple hits here. I don't know what's going on. So let's get on that. Here's the small portfolio. Also, if you'll notice, I have no tech exposure in there. Currently, in the small portfolio, we have Dollar Tree. That's up about 4.3% since we bought it 11 days ago. We have Shell. That's up about almost 2%, not quite. 10 days in there. We're seeing a lot of strength in the oils. American Homes for Rent. That's AMH. An interesting stock on that as well. That's up just slightly, and then ICL, that's a fertilizer company, not up quite as much, and we're down just slightly, 0.01% on Novo Nordisk. We're basically down a few cents on that, but we're still looking very, very good on that one as well. So let's see if I can get to all the stocks that I'm currently in and just kind of go through those really quickly. Dollar Tree, we're down a little bit today, but we're up overall. That's been performing well. Novo Nordisk, this is, of course, is the insulin maker. Pretty good on that. Shell, of course, we're up on that. The Spider Healthcare, we may be ditching that one. Just has not performed as well as we'd like. We're up a little bit finally today on HP. I'm hoping that we're going to see some strength there. OVV, that's an oil play. That's up today very nicely, about 2%. Raytheon is up just 3 cents, not a lot. And CubeSmart down a little bit. Murphy Oil, of course, that's the one I want to talk about. And basically ICL. So kind of going throughout the whole list. I wanted to point out this other thing today. If you want to take a look at the heat map of the stock market, kind of see where things are at, this is the address that you want to go to, https://bit.ly/DTF1023. So hopefully you got that. Hopefully you got that in there. Okay, so first question. Thank you very much. Hey Jim, I was wondering if you had any general rules on when to take a profit. Boy, is that a great question. Of course, each individual stock is different. Well, you should start considering taking profits when a stock moves 20% above where you are. So 20% is really the rule on that. That's really where you want to be looking, looking for to take a profit there. Okay, so all right, here we go. Thanks, Sandeep. Thanks for the Murphy Oil stock. Yeah, I like that one too. I think it's going to go up very nicely. It's in a good area of the market, and I do think we're going to see it move much nicer, much nicer. For some reason, I'm still getting. Let's see if I can turn off those alerts. I'm getting all kinds of alerts, and I don't understand why I am. So let's see if I can change that to. Let's see. I think I'm just going to have to close this down because I think that's where I'm getting the alerts. So let's see if I can do that. All right. So now I'm unalerted, which is kind of a good thing. All right. So let's. When the market, what's the market trend on the Nasdaq? Red today against red. Absolutely, it was. Here's the problem. Zian. As I said in my email, you don't want to be in the techs right now. The techs just aren't working. So, if you're in some of the oil stocks, you're going to be doing better. If you're in the Murphy Oils of the world, also, this is where the strength of the market is. The market is very, very weak when it comes to the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq is primarily tech stocks. As interest rates go up, you're going to see this area perform much more poorly. So here's what you can do. I'm gonna go to the chart here in just a second. And that's going to be. I have to remember this. DTF 1023. There we go. All right. So that should come up. There we go. All right. So now I think I'm. Hopefully that's gonna. There we go. Okay. So this is the industry. So in just a second, this should come up. There we go. All right. So what I want to show you here, Zian, is where the strength of the market is. The problem right now in the market is that it just is not doing well when it comes to NASDAQ stocks. And most of these NASDAQ stocks are all basically, are all tech stocks. And right now, tech stocks just aren't working. And so what we got to go is we got to go to a different part of the market. Now, the part of the market that you want to be in, as you can see here, and let's see if we can move out to a little bit further out. There we go. All right. So what I'm showing you here is kind of where you need to be looking for stocks in this market. And this is what I'm doing, basically, with my action trailers. Right now, the number one area in the market is the coal area. Believe it or not, it's in the energy space. Notice very, very carefully that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 areas. They're either in energy, metals. There is one thing called medias, but there's only 2 stocks in this one, or agriculture. So where am I looking for stocks? Well, I'm looking for stocks primarily in the energy area. That's where I'm looking, because that's where in the market that we're having the best look. So, as much as I like to trade, tech stocks, I'm not in any tech stocks right now. Why? Because it's not working. So you've got to be in oil and gas, mining, or possibly agricultural chemicals. I mean, that's sort of just the way it is. I think everyone is out of the market, so no comments today. Well, a lot of people are afraid because they don't know how to trade a market. I'm not out of the market. I'm fairly well invested. Let me kind of show you kind of where I'm invested in the market. A lot of people don't know how to trade anything but tech stocks. So what we've got to do is we've got to look and see kind of where we can trade. Now I'm in the market. I have a large position in Dollar Tree. I'm also in Shell, which is done very well. I'm also in American Homes for Rent. This is an interesting company. This is a company that's buying up homes and renting them out. I'm also in ICL. This is an interesting company in that ICL is in the fertilizer business. So very interesting. And then Novo Nordisk, and that's basically an insulin maker. So what am I doing in this market differently than a lot of people are doing? Well, what I'm doing differently is that I've sold all my tech stocks, and now I'm basically looking at primarily being in more commodity-based stocks that should do better as the market moves away. With high interest rates, it's going to kill a lot of the tech companies. A lot of the tech companies are going to be very, very weak, and that's just the way it is. So you've got to take your thinking and move it to another area, and move it to an area of what is working. Right now, the only things working in the market are the oil and gas, some of the agricultural chemical companies, and a few things like REITs. So that's where you got to concentrate. That's where you got to look for the deals. Now I'm going to be trying to put it out there to everybody as much as I can. Thoughts on XOM? You think it can hit 90? Absolutely, I do. With oil ending going to height, absolutely, I definitely think it can. And so that's a very, very good point. Thank you for that. Let's look at ExxonMobil. Let's kind of look now. There's a lot of different oil companies, and so it's a very, very large group. There's no shortage of oil companies out there. Here's the chart for Exxon. Now I do think that once we get past this 91.50 range, you're definitely going to see some more strength. But I absolutely think that Exxon can move above 90. Basically, as you can see, I basically had my call spreads in here. I haven't rebought Exxon, but I'm waiting for a pullback. And when it pulls back to this 21-day line, I will probably be a buyer. Why? Because this is where the strength in the market is. Absolutely. Right now, this group, this integrated group, this is 9 out of 197. So remember, what I was saying is let's take a look to see, and this is why I have this heat map here to kind of show you. Oops, let me just show you that heat map and why I think it's so important. And as we can see, basically this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So right there. Well, it doesn't quite, yeah, oil and gas integrated. That's right here. It's actually it's row number 10, but it's actually 9 in this because of the header row. But this is where Exxon is. As you can see, this is where the strength in the market is. So we want to concentrate looking for deals in this particular area. So Exxon can definitely hit 90. There's no question. Now, would I buy it here? No. Why? Because it's extended. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, what I mean by that is that it needs to pull back to this green line here. That's what they call the 21-day exponential. So if you look at that 21-day exponential is 84.37. Currently, it's 88. So basically what we want to see is Exxon has been up 1, 2, 3, 4 days in a row. I suspect it's going to pull back a little bit, probably down to right about 85 or so, and then it's going to make its move a little bit higher. But this is a very nice pattern, and definitely one that you can take advantage of. You just have to be careful at these levels. You have to be a little bit more careful. It's a little bit different than trading. The commodity stocks trade a little bit differently than some of the tech stocks, so got to be a little bit more careful about them. All right, and we talked a little bit about Murphy. Let's kind of see the peers that Murphy has. That's MUR. Now there's two Murphy companies. There's the Murphy Oil Company, and then there's another one that has the convenience stores that's sort of related. Now here's the kind of pattern that we're looking for to buy right now, and that is we're looking for something that's come up very nicely and then is starting to make its move past what they call the pivot. Right now, that pivot is right here at 43.20. We've just pulled past it. Right now, we could still buy more. I probably would not buy it. It's a little extended here, but as you can see, as it pulled back to that 21-day line, that's where I started buying it. And then, boom, it moved up. So how far can this one go up? Well, it probably won't go up that much more, but it'll probably go up to, maybe 48, 49 within the next few days. So this is the kind of strength that we're looking at in the market. We're looking at things that have very strong checklists. This has 89 checklists, so this is quite good, and has good technical numbers, and is in the right industry. But being in the right industry is super important, super duper important. Right now, the international E&P companies, this is exploration and production, number 4 out of 197. So if you look at kind of where I'm buying right now, I'm buying in these areas that are very strong relative to relative to everything else. So Murphy Oil, as you can see, is in the 4th group, which is the international E&P area, which is very, very strong. And just kind of to give you an idea of how, oops, there we go. Let's see if it'll let me do it. As you can see, this is where we want to be in the market. We want to be in energy, oil and gas, maybe some steel producers, and then basically we don't want to be, we want to basically be only in this area right now, because if we look for, say, tech, let's look at tech exposure. Okay, computer software enterprise. That's one of the worst that's one of the worst sectors in the economy. So I'm not even looking here right now. Why? Because this area is declining. Now, we might be able to short this area, but right now, most of these NASDAQ stocks, as you can see, they're all underwater. So where do we want to be looking for potential setups? We want to be looking for setups basically in oil and gas, transportation, ship, medical. There is some medical in there. That's where we're looking. So what I'm trying to do is put out to everybody kind of what I'm buying in some of these areas that are working. All right, let's look at DG. This is a good one. This is Dollar General, of course, and Dollar General is definitely, oops, let's see if I can get that chart up for Dollar General, for DG. Let's pull it up. And DG. There we go. Oh, it got G but not D. DG. Hopefully that will work. There we go. Dollar General. Okay. Now I have Dollar Tree and not Dollar General. Dollar General is very good as well. It's a little bit extended. It came up out of this base at 232, and then it moved up. Now this isn't quite as good an area, but it's still very good. The retail discounters 40 out of 197. So that's still not a bad area to be in right now. And definitely, you know, we have moved very nicely here. But here's the problem with this stock, the way I see it right now. It is extended. So here's what is probably going to happen. We're going to probably get a pullback maybe to about the 270 level, and then I think it will continue up. It's a very good stock in a good area with excellent profits, but it doesn't have nearly as strong a checklist. It's a little bit weaker on the checklist, 67% on that one. But this is a good area. So if you're in it, I'd stick in this one. Here's what I would do. I would set my stop loss though. I would set my stop loss up probably to that 10-day line, and that is right at about this number, 241.11. So that's kind of where I would be looking to put my stop loss. But it's a good stock. I wouldn't buy it here. It's extended. You know, right now in this market, what we want to do is we want to buy right below that pivot if we can. That's the best setup. So if you're in it, I would stay in it. Good stock. But here's the thing I would do with Dollar General. I'd be a little bit careful with Dollar General in that I would not buy it at this point. It is extended. So, you know, definitely not a good buy point. But right now, good stock, but it is extended. So not a good place to buy Dollar General, but good stock overall. Wait for the pullback if you're not in that. If you're in, just move your stop loss up. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. Okay, Chris, question. Do you have any plan for splitting stocks? You know what? Normally, I'm all in on stock splits. Normally, I'm all in on stock splits. I've done very well on them in the past. Here's the problem I'm having with stock splits right now. They just aren't working as well because most of these stock splits are in the wrong area of the market. And that just seems to be what's ruling right now, is that in the NASDAQ, it's a tough row because in the NASDAQ, we're just not getting as good, you know, we're just not getting good results. We're just not getting good results. So that's kind of why I've put this on the back burner for a while. That's kind of when I put it on the back burner. You just got to do it. Absolutely. Well, thank you very much, Sandy. I really appreciate it. That's a really nice comment. That's a really nice comment that you're making here on that. But yeah, I mean, you can make money in almost any market. You just have to go where the money goes. That's all it is. You know, it's simple, but yet it's complicated. So thank you for that comment. I really appreciate it. The 7% rule will keep you out of a lot of trouble. It's really helped me over the years preserve capital. So thank you very, very much for that comment. Really appreciate it. All right. Okay, so let's see if we can get. You know, I bought this new stand and it's not working out all that well. But check the dividend on Google. Okay, here's another thing. You know, and I want to address this area, but I know this is really tough. But the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. And right now, buying tech stocks is just that. I mean, it's just that. You know, people are trying to make excuses like, oh, a dividend or something. Just let it go. Let it go. Move into energy stocks because that's where the market is telling us that the return is. The return is just not in tech stocks. The people that are going to be in tech stocks are going to get hurt. That's just how it is. And I mean it's not. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. We're talking about Google, which is that's Golden Ocean. So let's look at Golden Ocean. I did have Golden Ocean. I did sell it at a profit. That is an area that I would definitely look in, and of course that is in the shipping group, and it is doing well, absolutely doing well. So let's take a look at that at that stock right now, and that is Google, Golden Ocean Group. It's moved up today nicely, about 13 cents, which is almost 1%. It is extended, unfortunately. Unfortunately, this one is extended over its buy point. The correct buy point on this one is about $10, $10.05. Basically, that's down here. If you're looking on the chart, that's basically down about here, right at about 10. So it is extended. So you couldn't. This is not a good place to buy it here, but it's not a bad place to It's not about it's not, you know, I would hold it here, would not buy it here at this level. You want to buy them as they're coming below and through the pivot. So right now I would not recommend I would not recommend doing this with GOGL. Just would not recommend it. All right. Okay. So let's take a look. Twitter is going interesting. You know, here's the thing about Twitter. You know, I wouldn't be in Twitter either. You know, I haven't had Twitter in a long time. Until things change in the market, I think it's too hard to get. You know, why waste your time in a stock that's in a downward trend? I mean, and that's essentially what it is. Now, it's true. I mean, if Elon Musk buys it and he's able to turn it around, congratulations. I mean, he's the richest man in the world. So, I mean, how can I argue with that? But right now, it's in a downward trend. So I would not be a buyer I would just not be a buyer of Twitter. I would just not be a buyer of Twitter here. It's not working as well as we would like to see. Okay, what about the airlines? You know, again, let's look at the number one airline I think out there, and that's Delta. DAL is the symbol on that one. I wouldn't be a buyer at this level. Now, it's true their costs are going up, but it seems like they're able to pass along a lot of these costs to the customers. But I still don't like the group. And why don't I like the group? Well, because the market doesn't like the group. Transportation airline, 135 out of 197. I'm just going to avoid it. I'm just going to completely avoid that group. Why? Because, you know, it's like where you go fishing. You want to go fishing in the best fishing hole. So I would avoid airlines right now. And you know, it's nothing against airlines, but it's just you don't want to be in the group that is not working. And right now, unfortunately, it's not really working for airlines. All right, any thoughts about OAS or SU? Let's look at OAS. And kind of see what's going on there. Yeah, Oasis. Oh, good question. I was looking at this one today. As a matter of fact, it's funny because I called. it's very timely. I called Oasis. Oasis is being bought out by Whiting, WLL. WLL is buying OAS. So right now, I don't think you really want to be in it just because this has been acquired. So that's one that you kind of gotta just take off. Take that off the take that off the table right now. OAS, because it is being acquired by Whiting Petroleum right now. So you know, OAS is being acquired by WLL, and that's Whiting Petroleum. So yeah, that's just it. You just need to take that one off the table. It's you know, they're going to merge, and I think it's going to be pretty good. But oops, wrong one. Oops. Let's see if it will show it. Yeah, OAS is being OAS is being that's bad. I'm having trouble with some things here again. Sorry to do that. But yeah, OAS is being acquired, so that's one probably you want to take off the table. Let's look at SU. See if there's anything there. SU. And that's Suncor Energy. This is the integrated. Yeah, I like the area that this is in. This is a Canadian company, and this is a pretty good pattern. This is a pretty good pattern right there. This is definitely, yeah, you can inquire this. This one is actionable. Yeah, this is actionable. This is looking very good. It's a good chart pattern. Yeah, it's pulled back to the 10-day line. That's good. You could buy this. I'm not currently in this one, but this is definitely, you know, this is 89 checklist. Yeah, you can buy this one. So here's what I would recommend on that one if you're looking in this area. And I definitely think that's a good area to look in. You know, SU is buyable. So right now, SU is viable based on the chart pattern. It's in a good area of the market, and I definitely think you can definitely do something with it there. So pretty good there. All right, let's go to the next question. Okay. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. I wish I had more time to do those, but and I'm sorry about the technical issues today. Sometimes it just I don't know. I'm getting better, but I'm still challenged on the technicals. That's for sure. All right. Okay, so let's take one more question here. Thank you, everybody. You're so kind. Okay, go Zim, go. Yeah, that's in a good area. Look at BTU. This is one that we definitely should do. This is probably the last one for today. BTU is Peabody. And I want to take a look at. I actually want to take it LNG and PTU, but BTU is Peabody coal. This is one of the few really pure big coal companies out there. Now I have a Warrior Metallic. I don't have this one. This is looking pretty good. I mean, I like this group. This is a very, very strong group. This is the number one group right now. The question is, can you get on for the ride? Well, you know, the pullback might give you an opportunity. I think this is a good stock, and it's definitely in the right area of the market. 89 checklist. I want to compare it with one of the stocks that I do actually own. I was thinking about reducing my position here a little bit. It didn't do as well today, but it's done and pretty good in the past. HCC is the stock that Warrior Met Coal. This is the one that I own in the coal group. There we go. You can see it. We did have a little bit of a pullback in after hours, but boom, it went right back up. This is an incredibly strong group, and I think that you will be rewarded if you're in this. What I'm doing here is I'm drawing a reversal line, and I do think it's going to punch through this tomorrow. I definitely think it's going to punch through this. This is just doing a consolidation, ready to go higher, but this is a good group to be in. I like BTU as well. BTU is a much bigger company than Warrior, and it, probably for a purely liquidity area, I think that one might be better. The problem, the only issue that I have with Peabody right now, it's really not an issue. It's just that it's not as well set up. Really, the buy point on that one was really about 27 right there. And unfortunately, we're 1, 2, 3 days. But I just see a lot of strength in here, and it's up after hours too. So my guess is this whole area is going to do well. And so if you own this one, I would definitely stick in it. It's good. This is good action. I'm personally an HCC as opposed to BTU, but I think they're both excellent. And this is definitely the area that you want to be in. This is the number one area right now in the stock market. It's hard to believe that coal, coal would be the number one area, but it is. Just amazing. Now, one of the last symbols that I want to look at is LNG, and this is Cheniere. That's the name of this company, Cheniere, and I do have a position in this one, so I do think that this one is setting up pretty nicely. Now, it pulled back a little bit today, but after hours it's up. So my guess is that we're going to have a movement. We're going to have some action tomorrow in once again in the coal, in natural gas, and in oil. So we're looking at a lot of strength here. Now, if you don't want to do this, if you don't want to pick stocks like this, here's what I would recommend. Just for fun, take a look at the XLE, and this is the Energy Select Spider that deals with with energy. This is something that I think you ought to consider for your portfolio. Now, of course, I'm not telling you anything on how to do anything, but if you want to get back into the market, this is where you want to be. Energy Select Spider. Now, this way you don't have to pick any of them. It's right now, it's currently in a buy zone. So this is definitely something that, I think you could park some money here until we find the right thing to do. But the XLE is in the buy zone. now. So is it gonna matter? Well, I think it is, because we're at this buy zone. The buy zone, the pivot is 80.22. We're at 81.33 after hours. It's coming into this. I just think this is going to look good. Now, it may pull back a little bit, but I think in the next month or so, I think we're going to see some very strong action in this XLE. So this is a definite place that if you don't want to pick a stock and you're just kind of getting out of tech and looking at the NASDAQ and saying, oh my God, I don't want to do anything, take a look at the XLE, because this is a way that you can do well. You can do well on it. All right, let's look at LPI. LPI. See if I can give you Laredo Petroleum, another good one. Good stock, good stock, good stock, good stock. Very well set up too, by the way. Yeah, this is yeah. Just taking a look at that. I'm really liking that. That's buyable. You know, and I wasn't looking at LPI before, but I know the company. It is buyable. So this is definitely something that, this is definitely something you could look at, because it's right at this very nice buy point. The buy point on this is 88.30. It's 88.30 on. I think this is a ascending base. Let me just see. I just want to look at the pattern rec on this one. Unfortunately, I don't have to do this manually. I used to have to do this manually. It was really tough because it took forever to do this. But yeah, I mean, we've got a cup with a handle. This is a good pattern, man. This is a good pattern. It's just right below that. So this is a very good buy point. This is a great place to buy it, by the way. That's and I may do that for myself. What I'm doing here is I'm drawing that reversal line. And then why do I draw that reversal line? Because typically this is how you want to buy them. There's the pivot here, and then what will happen is it'll come up to the pivot, it'll get resistance, and then it will pull back, and then it'll pull back to the 21-day exponential. That's this green line here, and then boom, it'll come right off of that, and that's definitely what happened here. And then it came all the way up to the pivot, and it got a little bit of resistance here. My guess is it's going to power through probably this week. It's going to be powering through this resistance, and then it's going to go on to a higher level, possibly up to as high as 96. See that? Because we have this nice we have this nice range. So after it powers through 88.30, it's probably its next stop is 96. So this is looking very, very good. Thank you for that. That's a great symbol. LPI, everybody, is definitely one that you might want to take a look at, because I think it's it's viable, and probably tomorrow. So. All right, the options price is very high in these stocks. Yes, unfortunately it is. It is. I would recommend at this point, just because of the way the condition of the market is, I'd love to do options on a lot of these stocks, but a lot of these stocks are relatively inexpensive. So what I would recommend doing instead is just going in. It's just going in and actually buying the stock itself. A lot of these stocks are below $100 a share. So I think that's probably your best bet right now, at least in this market. It's a tough market to trade. We are in a little bit of a downtrend, and so it is a tough market to trade. But I would recommend buying at this point, probably until we get a confirmation of the market, I would recommend just buying the physical shares right now, at least until we can get, if we go into correction, then it's different. But I think that's kind of the way to go, and you need to shift into the energy, because that's the space that has been working the best. All right, and this is another refining. I'm liking this area too. Gee, I'm absolutely liking this area. Look at how this is doing. It came right above this buy point. This is a very good suggestion. It idled a little bit here, and then it's gone up. Now, would I buy this one? No, because it is basically extended. This is extended, but this is a good stock. And the time to buy it obviously was about a week ago. But if you look at the checklist, excellent checklist, 89% on this one, came above that 22.29 buy point, and it's very strong. It's got a high relative strength, and it's looking good. Now, what you really want to look is not necessarily this number, this 95 number. You want to look at this line You want to look at this relative strength line, and look at that. Boy, look at that how fast that's going up. So this is definitely a buyable. You know, this is good. I wouldn't buy it here because it is extended. So that's my only concern right now, is that DK is extended right now. So I probably would not be a buyer of DK just because it's a little bit too far above that pivot for me to buy it. I don't want to buy it typically more than about 5% above that pivot. That's sort of the limit for me. That's sort of the limit on that one. All right, thoughts on Boyle. Hey, thank you, Alberto. It's BOIL. I don't know what Boyle is. I think it's probably a leverage ETF. Let's see if I can come up with something on that. Okay, UltraShare, natural gas. Okay, nat gas. Yeah, boy, look at this. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Alberto, you've definitely got a point here. Again, this is where the market is headed. I mean, there's several companies that are in the nat gas area. Look at that, and look at this, up $2 after hours. Wow, look at that. Wow, that is just tremendous. That's just tremendous. This is where the strength is in the market. Would I recommend buying here? You know what? You could definitely buy here, and why? Because if you look at where it's making a new higher high, that's always a good place to buy. So yeah, you can. This is buyable. This is definitely buyable. It's a little bit steep. It's probably going to pull back. So here's what I would do. I would recommend maybe seeing how it opens. I wouldn't buy it right at the open, but I would possibly buy it. Let it pull back a little bit. This is going to pull back. This is a little bit of a steep angle. It's going to pull back, but in general, this is going higher. So here's what I would do. I would wait on this one. I would watch this, and wait for it to pull back. But this is definitely viable. You know, and I wait for the pullback. And that's kind of definitely, you know, that's kind of what I would do. I would just wait for that pullback and see, you know, and then at that point, that's where I would go. So I'd wait for the pullback on this one, but this is definitely should be on your watch list. Very, very good stock. All right, let's take the last one, and that's DD. And you know, DD probably, I don't know if it was delisted or not. Let's take a look. I'm not sure. I haven't been following this one lately. Of course, this is a Chinese stock. Everybody probably knows that. But look at this chart; it's horrible. I mean, this is a terrible chart. Just look at that, boy, going straight down. It hasn't been delisted yet. It's available for $2 a share. Ouch. Let's kind of look at kind of see. This is why when a stock goes bad, you just kind of want to step back. This is why the 7% rule is so important. Look at this. Just, you know, relatively recently ago, this was a $10 stock. It's now a $2 stock. This has a relative strength rating of 1. This is terrible. So yeah, it hasn't been delisted, but it's been terrible. If you shorted this, you wouldn't have probably done pretty well. But there is even danger in shorting a stock like this. So just a tough way all the way around. You know, Chinese stocks just aren't the place to be right now. You want to be in the oil and gas stock. That's where, you know, again, that's where the best opportunities. You know, that's where the best opportunities are again. So just kind of just running through that really quickly. You know, before we go here, is just, you know, this is the strength. You take a look at it, and number one, energy coal right there. Oil and gas royalty trust, that's another big area. Agriculture chemicals, this is where Nutrien is. This is the fertilizer company I was talking about. Maybe I can show you Nutrien, show you this is a good place to buy too. NTR, Nutrien, I own this one currently, and I've done very well with it, believe it or not. It's up after hours, yeah, it's up after hours, there we go. Yeah, look at that, huge jump after hours, 116.50. There's going to be tomorrow. Tomorrow you're going to see a big movement back into. You know, you're going to see a movement back into once again into the oils. That's where the strength is. That's where you got to be in this market. You got to be in where the strength is. And right now, oils and possibly some of the agricultural chemicals. Let's look at ICL. This is another one. This is another one I own. ICL. This is a fertilizer company. I didn't look at it today. It's off a little bit today. This is a much cheaper stock. This is the Israeli national fertilizer company, believe it or not. But look at its strength. It's just been going gangbusters. Now I did make a buy here. Probably, I don't know. This is probably a little bit premature. We'll see how it does. It's off a little bit, but still, you know, my average cost is still pretty good on this one. This is another area of the market. This is number one in terms of agricultural chemicals, currently number one out of 197. So the best, probably the best of the breed right now is Nutrien. Yeah, and unfortunately, there's just no place to get into this one. That's the problem. I had a lot of trouble getting into this one. I started buying it, basically, I bought it here originally off the pivot. I bought it twice, and then I sold it as it pulled back. Then I got back in here off the 21-day line, and I came in here, made a secondary buy, and then I made a third buy. I mean, I pretty much maxed out in my position on this one, but this one's probably going to go higher. I don't know why it's going up so much, but I think it's going to become very, very apparent very quickly that the world is lacking fertilizer right now. So that's going to be a big area. So I may be covering the agricultural chemicals area, hopefully in a newsletter in a few days, because I do think this is an area that really is a good area to possibly find opportunities in. So thank you very, very much, everybody. If you're not on the action trailers, please go over to the action trailers. I mean, please like us first, because that really helps us get out to a lot more people. So I want to put the like button. So please like. Oh, that's the small like. I want the big like here. Yeah, please like us and subscribe. That would be great. Also, you know, we have the action trailers, which is free. Just go to www.Dallas Trading Floor. That's super easy to get on. And that has some of the others. There's other things there as well. www.Dallas Trading Floor. Just need the first and last name and an email address there. And so that's good. We do have a really nice. By the way, if you want to get access to the heat map, if just go to www.Dallas Trading Floor and sign up, and we'll get you on that right away. So you can take a look and see where the strength is in this market, how I'm trading this market. And remember, what I'm doing is I'm moving into the strongest areas of the market, and this map will show you exactly where they are. So I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully at about 5 o'clock if I don't get a phone call. Well, if I can get off the phone in time. Happy trading, everybody. I hope everyone is well. Don't fret. I mean, it's true we're having trouble in the market in terms of the NASDAQ, but there is strength in the market. There's ways to make money in this market. While everybody is scared, that's the time you want to start looking for stuff, and that's definitely the case here with the market. So just hang in there, and I will try to, from the best of my ability, show you how I'm trading, and so you can make money even in this downtrend. All right, talk to you soon, and I'll be back at 5 o'clock tomorrow. Happy trading.